Well, happy Thursday, everybody. Today, significantly more dialed in. Didn't have the distraction like I did yesterday. Dialed in and traded well. It was funny, we were actually talking about confluences before I took the trade, which had confluences. So we're going to go and recap the trade I took during my stream this morning. Nice little base hit. Please sit back and enjoy. This was done on my 2050K Apex funded account. So you can use code TBM for the best discount always if you are looking to get funded and trade futures. So let's go and dive into today's stream, which is from my main channel, Trades by Matt. Happens every morning at market open. Let's get into it. Yo, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Alrighty. I guess we did not end up having CPI or PPI. I thought that was happening today. No? I guess it was canceled. Maybe with the shutdown stuff. Hasn't. We should get the September jobs report next week. It's already been cooked. Oh, God. We got the boomers using the word cooked now. Sweet. Alrighty, chat. This is where we stand. We swept yesterday, the past 2 days lows. Making our way into 360. 360 is very interesting to me. I think that we got the overnight lows here that we're about to sweep again. There we go. We're through the overnight lows. We're below VWAP. We're below yesterday's value area low. Everything seems heavy in that instance, or that case. We'll see what happens at 360. I think it's actually a fairly interesting spot. Maybe it won't be interesting, but in my head right now, it's interesting at least. It's not that much farther down either, like 50 points, 40, 50 points. Depending on how we react at 360, you know, we slap it 350, 320s, whatever. Go lower for that prior open of that candle. If we do catch a bid off 360, then literally the levels to watch are the exact ones that we got above us. Overnight lows, value area low from yesterday, VWAP, pointing control, yesterday's value area high, overnight highs. Make sure you press the thumbs up button down below. If you haven't yet, click the like on the video. It will help. Appreciate you for doing that. Oh, wow. We're at 360 already. That was fast. And of course, it happens 357. This whole area right here is pretty interesting. Of course, it happens, you know, before my 15-minute mark, which could be a very good thing. It might save me. Might also rip face off it, in which case I get left to the dust. But I always wait the first 15 minutes. It's a personal rule. Even if I like the level, I want to force myself to be patient. Better go out and get your golf game in. Yeah, I should go ahead and play kind of hard golf, huh? Our new daily morning game. It can't be as bad as yesterday, right? Dude, that is very challenging. Yes, thank you. I might rage quit this, to be honest. This is not going well. What's this game? It's called Kind of Hard Golf. The name is wrong. It's stupidly, ridiculously hard, annoying rage golf. Since the open, we are currently down 160 points or so. Nice little sweep off of 20. Instant 25 points. Any updates with trades here? Things are going well. It's looking good. We got two more new developers starting on December 3rd. All right, rejecting 420 so far, or just about. Hugging the -1 standard deviation, still catching a little bit off it. Not too many buyers on this push. Overnight lows coming up as well. Actually, the reject of overnight lows could be very interesting, but so could 25. 26. Whatever that is right there. I just need to give it through the overnight lows, which is the hard part. I'm going to take that off and let it see how it plays if it goes back up there. I can throw something in. Matt, what could be a thing you wanted to do for the rest of your life? I would like to stay in shape the rest of my life. I would like to play golf the rest of my life. I would like to trade in some capacity for the rest of my life. Maybe not actively every single day when I'm old, but like still keeping the brain sharp. Be cool if my kids like lived around me. Could hang out with them every day, even when they're old. That'd be fun. right above, or right around that 5-minute opening range high at 500. We might sweep that on the push into, if we push VWAP, I think we sweep that. With the way buyers have been acting, I feel like if we push VWAP, we sweep the overnight, or we sweep the 5-minute high into 520 or so. And then come back down into VWAP. I don't really want to take the VWAP rejection, I don't think, currently. And buyers have been looking pretty good so far. I mean, pretty much a V bottom so far. There's VWAP. See if we get the sweep. Still got some buyers. Not a very aggressive sweep yet. This is just a more aggressive entry, and I'm not willing to really take that because of the 5-minute high that I think is very sweepable. That being said, that's 10 points right there that I could have snagged, technically. Okay, well, green line algo holds, VWAP holds. I do not get my fill. We didn't sweep it. And that's okay. Missed that one. We'll see. Actually, you know what? If Delta can hold heavy and we go test it one more time, I actually really like this trade still. So I'm going to leave it up for just a second, but as of right now, just the straight up rejection of VWAP was the actual play. And, you know, I wish I would have taken that, but at the same time, if we would have sweeped it up, I would have been sad I didn't just wait the 20 points to get an entry better. ICT tweeted volume and price does not matter. Any thoughts on this? I think that you can always find an example of where it didn't matter, and you can always find an example where it did matter. That's trading 101. Trading 101 is that there's never anything that works with 100% certainty, which is why you have a million indicators out there. You're going to find times where VWAP works perfectly and times where it doesn't work perfectly. You're going to find times where a wick test works perfectly and times where a wick test does not work perfectly. You're going to find times where a volume profile is beautiful and works perfectly and times where it doesn't. It's just the nature of the beast. Which is why we talk about context. It's why we talk about confluence of multiple ideas kind of coming together to paint the picture, right? If we have a delta divergence at VWAP with point of control flipping up to the upside or something, it could be a good short, right? Because there's multiple things kind of hinting at the idea that the conditions might be changing. If you just have one of those things, it might not be the strongest trade to take. That's why confluence, meaning multiple ideas colliding together, is a good thing with trading a lot of times. And then there's obviously too much of that sometimes too, where it's like you can never get into a trade because you're always looking for 10 different conditions to meet each other. But and sometimes all the ideas are still just wrong, and that's the market. But it's about painting a picture and understanding that nothing is ever purely right or purely really wrong. You can always kind of find an example for everything. Like the joke I always talk about in here, chat, is like moving average lines. People talk about it every now and then, and I'm like, yeah, if I threw a 420 moving average line on here, when most people use 9 or something, if I threw 420 or 69 or 67 these days, right? Whatever number I picked, I could always find an instance where it worked. I could also find an instance where it didn't work. It's just confirmation bias, best fit bias, whatever you want to call it. Now, this may sound silly, but what are your thoughts on RSI? Same thing with what I just said. I think at the end of the day, some people really like it and they use it well, and it's a good system for them in some capacity. One second, I'm waiting to see how this works. A little delta divergence here at point of control. I'm going to take a stab long. I just market it in. I'm going to go and move that break even, and I'm out. That's 10 points there. Delta divergence at the lows on point of control. I went ahead and marketed in because I didn't know if I was going to get the fill or not. It might have just shot right up. So I marketed in. We had a delta divergence, meaning price made a low, delta made a low. Price makes a new low, delta does not make a new low. We're sitting on point of control. That's two confluence ideas kind of coming together, right? And then take my base hit, which is 10 points for a quick trade there. So back to the whole conversation we were just having, right? That's kind of the idea, right? Like I used volume at price for that perspective. I used delta for that perspective. You combine them together and it was a nice little trade. Now, is that always going to work that way? The answer is no, because that's just the market. But blanket statement saying it's not ever important or whatever for any indicator, I think is silly. You could probably find a similar setup like that with MACD plus something else, or with RSI plus something else. It's all like up to the eyes of the beholder and the way that your brain works.